Power sharing. CBSE Class 10 Civics Chapter 1 Notes. Introduction. Ethnic means a social division based on shared culture and common descent. People belonging to an ethnic group need not have the same religion or nationality. Majoritarianism, a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority, is majoritarianism. Power sharing in Sri Lanka. The major social groups are Sri Lankan Tamils and Indian Tamils. Sinhala speaking are 74% Buddhism. Tamil speaking are 18%, Hindus or Muslims, Sri Lankan Tamils 13%, Indian Tamils 5%. Establishment of Sinhala supremacy. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. The democratically elected government adopted a series of measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. In 1956, an act was passed to make Sinhala the official language. The government followed preferential policies favoring Sinhala applicants for university positions and government jobs. The constitution provided for state protection and fostering of Buddhism. The Sri Lankan Tamils felt that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders were sensitive to their language and culture, and the government policies denied them equal political rights. The Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggled for the recognition of Tamil, for regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in every field. Therefore, the measures adopted by the government to establish Sinhala supremacy led to civil war. What is ethnic composition of Belgium? Belgium is a small country in Europe having a population of a little over 1 crore. 59% of the country's total population lives in the Flemish region and speak Dutch language. Another 40% people live in Wallonia region and speak French. Remaining 1% of the Belgians speak German. Whereas in the Belgian capital Brussels, 80% of the population is French speaking and 20% is Dutch speaking. Belgian power sharing model. The power sharing arrangements made by the Belgian leaders were different and more innovative than any other country. To recognize the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities, they amended their constitution 4 times between 1970 and 1993. The major elements of the Belgian model. Number 1. Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. No single community can take decisions unilaterally. Number 2. The state governments are not subordinate to the central government. Number 3. Brussels, the capital, has a separate government where both the communities have equal representation. Number 4. A third kind of government, community government, is elected by people belonging to one language community. Dutch, French, and German speaking, no matter where they live. This government can decide on cultural, educational, and language related issues. Lebanon: conflict related to power sharing disputes were resolved by power sharing. People from various communities lived in Lebanon's capital city, Beirut, and fought a bitter civil war amongst themselves. As a result, thousands of people of various communities were either killed or lost their livelihood. At the end of the civil war, Lebanon's leader came together and agreed to some basic rules for power sharing among different communities. As per these rules, it was agreed that the president would be from Maronite sect of Catholic Christians. The prime minister must be from Sunni Muslim community. Deputy Prime Minister would be from an Orthodox Christian sect, Speaker a Shia Muslim. As per the pact, the Christians agreed not to seek French protection and Muslims agreed not to seek unification with the neighboring state of Syria. So, what were the reasons? Prudential reasons. Prudential reasons stress that power sharing would bring out better outcomes by helping to reduce the possibility of any conflict between the social groups, and power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of political order through unity of the nation. Moral reasons. Moral reasons uphold power sharing as the very spirit of democracy. The democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise. People have the right to be consulted and have equal participation in the government. So, what are the principles of a good democracy? That the power of government must not vest in one person or a group of persons, that people are the source of all political power, that due respect be given to diverse groups, and everyone should have a voice in the shaping of public policies. So let's look at the system checks of the balances. The horizontal distribution of power ensures that power is shared among different organs of government, the legislature, executive, and judiciary. It allows different organs of government placed at the same level to exercise different powers. In a democracy, ministers and government officials exercise power. They are responsible to the parliament or state assemblies. The judges appointed by the executive can check the functioning of executive or laws made by the legislature. The horizontal distribution of power is also called a system of checks and balances. Power sharing in contemporary democracies. In contemporary democracies, power sharing takes the form of competition among different parties. Such competition ensures that power does not remain in one hand and is shared among different political parties representing different social groups and ideologies. This type of sharing often leads to the formation of an alliance between two or more parties, which goes to form a coalition government.